It's time for Gardening Inside Out, a live show offering you plant advice for any space in your life. Introducing your perennial hosts, David Bates and Josh Carey.
Hey, welcome in, everybody. It's Saturday morning. It's time for Gardening Inside Out. We're coming to you live here from the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery and Garden Center, and it's calm. It's smooth today around the nursery. Nothing. It's just serene around here.
We are exuding serenity today.
I can see. Is that what I smell? The serenity.
I'm not sure about that. It's been an interesting week.
Welcome in, everybody.
Personally, for me, I've had a lot going on, but they're good things. It's just I've just have had to come to terms to a greater extent than normal that. I can only do what I can do, and that there's a lot going on, and this is self-imposed.
I understand.
Nobody has done this to me other than me. So anyway, we'll probably talk about some of the projects we've had going on this week. We've not made it a secret, but the other thing that is not a secret is the weather.
It's hot.
And it's hot, particularly when you're doing paving. Yes, it's very hot. Paving or anything else weather for that matter. Today is Saturday the 13th of July. It's rocketing on by. 96 degrees for the high today and mostly sunny conditions. Tomorrow, Sunday, 98. And partly cloudy, mostly sunny again on Monday, 99. And you notice those nighttime temperatures are creeping up above the mid-70s point. Tuesday, only 95 degrees with a chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Yay. Wednesday, it actually cools all the way down to 91. That's what it says anyway, with a better chance of scattered thunderstorms. Thursday looks like, it's strange how the scattered thunderstorms are predicted to be 0.28 of an inch, but rain the next day is only 1,900. So it is what it is, I guess. 84, which certainly sounds good compared to the weather we have been dealing with for the last several days. That weather has been hot, but it's been highly conducive to positive conditions on our little paving project. 86 next Friday, so hopefully we can continue on with that cooling trend, and I'll just give you a quick look at the weather. The radar out here, way out in Missouri and other, you got some, those folks have been really getting weather, and our on the weather note, our many friends in Houston area who have been without power for a week now. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. Wow, what a difficult spot. And so
the only place hotter than Nashville is Houston,
oh,
Texas.
My word, it's
nowhere.
And 100 degrees with 60% humidity. It's and no air conditioning.
And all that glass.
Yes, it's a very real thing. So we're thinking about you, Houston. Hopefully the help that's has arrived to help remedy that situation is well underway. And I know that there was a lot more people that were supposed to have their power cut on today, then a great many more tomorrow, and hopefully all of those things happen. In accordance with that, we'll look quickly at the weather station here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. We've got 1/1800ths of an inch of rain this week. We're about 30.5 for the year. So all things considered, it's a nice day, 79 degrees with 80% humidity. Already sticky.
Just right.
It is. Right? It's July. That's what we expect to occur in our gardening world.
Inside.
Yeah.
Or outside.
It's just those kind of conditions. We're not lamenting it, just reporting the facts to the best of our knowledge. So hopefully you can work with that. This is the time of year when a lot of people are getting into gardening projects, and they may kind of do the early morning, late afternoon hours, and those are a lot more forgiving on the human system as far as all the things you need to be mindful of staying hydrated, getting your electrolytes, don't we encourage people to get out there and continue digging in the dirt, but don't do it stupid. You really need to be. Even Paula, our HR personnel leader here at Bates Nursery, she does. How often, guys, does the message go out where she tells everybody, reminds us to hydrate?
A lot.
And that voice.
Every 20 minutes.
That voice is Caroline Gant, and that voice was Tyler Blankenship, and the silent one to this point, Austin Lowen.
The first time.
That will change soon. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to be here.
But Paula's water announcements are important. But yeah, I think every 20 minutes they come across the radios.
I don't know that it's possible to forget to hydrate, but you know what? It's better to be reminded than it is for any one person to forget. And so we really keep water available here at the nursery. And so when you come out and shop, don't worry about getting dehydrated. We keep it on hand and we keep it in a cooler so that if you're out in the perennial areas where we tend to keep that bottle, it is complimentary. We tell you how nice you look.
Yes, we do.
While you're drinking.
Yes.
I will say though, we as gardeners for sure, and y'all know this, David. You definitely know this. You get into something and you start working, and then you don't think, and you're working. You want to get it done. You start sweating, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't feel right.
Yeah, and you're already there. And the problem
You're
is
already there.
You're already there before you even know, and it's probably more of an issue in drier hot climates because you don't feel the humidity. It tells your body that when you've got your shirt soaked and all that, it's telling you, hey, there's water leaking out of me. Maybe I should put more back in the dry, arid climates. You can get dehydrated because it doesn't appear to be sweat. You're just transpiring. It goes straight to the air. It doesn't even hit your clothes.
Yeah, seek the shade, because when we lived in New Mexico, they would actually tell you to go stand in the shade of a telephone pole. It would be remarkable.
And
it works.
It is
folks.
very effective.
Yes.
Any bit of shade you can get, you want to try to get. But you may be gardening.
Get some air moving around you.
You might be gardening in a non-shaded area. And there may be things that you're thinking about doing, and maybe that you should continue to think about and not actually be doing just yet. So let's get into everything that we've got. We've got this ability for you to get directly in touch with us while we're live on the air, and also all during the week through our email and our social connections. And Caroline and Tyler kind of have all that in command, and so we'll just put it over to you, Caroline, to see what you guys have got in mind with regards to that.
A lot of questions this morning, so let's dive in.
All right.
Okay.
How long can you keep a fruit tree in a pot before it reaches its forever home?
Well, I mean, if you keep
As long as you're willing to water.
I mean, that's the thing. Tyler just nailed it. I mean, anything in a pot, you're gonna have to water more than in the ground. So I don't know why you want to keep it in the pot unless you just are lazy like me and don't plant stuff.
Well, it could be that
Maybe
you've
they
got
like
a
how
project going on around your house and you've got equipment and you don't want it to get run over by a skid steer loader or whatever. So that's a good enough reason to not plant it, in a area that's got a lot of traffic going on. But you're right about the perils associated with it is that it will require daily watering this time of year. I mean, not just in. And the word watering is the most misunderstood concept in our world. Don't you agree, guys? As far as any application of water at any amount or volume is not necessarily watering. You may have applied some water, but most of the things really require a thorough drenching. All of your outdoor plants, you need to spend enough time, even if you have to go back over multiple times to ensure it, particularly before they're in the ground. We irrigate twice a day this time of year. During these high temperature times, the plants dry out fast. We irrigate in the morning, and then we irrigate at the end of the day.
Yep.
And that's what we have to do in order to keep things going well.
Yep.
Yeah, just because you water doesn't mean you water properly.
Exactly.
I mean,
And I will say this, I mentioned earlier about our little projects. We've been paving this week.
Yeah.
And we've put down like a little excess of 55,000 square feet of pavement the last 3 days. Getting some lines put down today. So, we're in, and I'll talk about the newsletter perhaps in a bit, the flip-flop that's going on and will be happening throughout the next week, where we're moving plants from the side that has not been done yet.
I read the newsletter.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm
there's
glad.
Josh's shoe.
That's why you're wearing flip-flops.
That's the most.
Okay.
That's the most common reference to flip-flop. We're flip-flopping from one side to the other. So we'll be, hopefully, by the end of this next week, everything will be back on that side, and we'll be well into the cleaning process on the side where the plants are currently, and dealing with the next hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
Just
One
keeping
hurdle
them
after
safe
the
for
other.
all the customers. That's what you guys are doing.
I'll
Doing a
say
great job.
with this time of year, it's about the little victories.
Tyler Cam.
Yeah.
And he's live, by the way.
That's right.
Can
I'm
you tell
live.
that?
Nobody else is. It's
Just
all an
Tyler.
illusion. But this time of year, it's about the little battles. In my garden on Monday, I did a little bit of weeding with Sarah.
Nice.
And we were able to use one bag of mulch and reclaim that much of our garden beds. And I do feel like with the paving project, with everything we're doing around here, we're just doing a little bit at a time, as much as we can. I mean, the paving's a little bit more than a little bit, but there's a bunch of people doing little bits and making it through, because it's a very extreme time of
And I
year.
would like to mention one thing while it's on my mind. I got taken to task this week by one
Again?
I got taken to task this time about the fact that we're paving, and that, is this not bad for trees and shrubs and humans? And we're paving right over the top of pavement. We're not expanding our pavement. We're just improving the surface that your shopping carts roll on. And we've had numerous highly justified complaints about the inability for customers to keep their plants on the cart all the way to the checkout area, because it was
legit.
It was bouncy because the 49-year-old pavement, was probably worn out a decade ago. We couldn't get to a spot where we could really afford to do it. So we're grateful to be in that spot now. We really work hard at trying to take the money that you share with us to come buy products and to improve our facilities to give you the best shopping experience possible. So hopefully that is your take on it, not why are you paving the world and making it hotter. And why didn't we concrete? Because pavement is a lot more expensive than concrete, by the way, but it's much faster. So we can get,
It's easier to patch, too,
we decided actually based on that to go ahead, and we were going to concrete our perennial and annual areas. And ultimately I got faced with the opportunity to get it done, in a day, or extend out concrete for 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. 1 day versus 3 weeks.
Based on the tension in my cranium this week, I opted for the latter.
I will say, after pushing CC racks for the last 5 seasons up from the back of the nursery, when I say CC racks, they're just these tall racks with shelves that are really wobbly, and I have to transport houseplants up there once they come in. It's going to be so much better. I've lost plants. Racks have fallen apart. I watched Ben Trest multiple times lose shelves on his racks.
We were down to the point where we were really going to have to do something, and we have done over the years. We have resurfaced it, by sealing cracks and all that numerous times, and patching bad areas. But when you start patching patches, that's when you have exceeded the life expectancy of the original product. So anyway, we're a couple of weeks away from getting the last phase completed, hopefully, and then we'll return to a sense of normalcy thereafter. So hopefully, certainly by the middle of August, we should be back and in good shape. So enough about that.
It's going to be great. I am
Still
very
the
excited
premier.
about it.
It's still the premier nursery in Middle Tennessee, folks.
Well,
I'm
we-
sorry.
we-
With all this work going on,
I will say one thing of
there's
us.
a lot of nice places. Bates is the best.
We do not rest on our laurels figuratively or literally.
Well, don't lay on the laurels.
Don't lay on the laurels.
No.
Don't lay on your trees. We have more tree questions, y'all. We better
Okay,
get
let's do it.
Get to
Don't
it.
lay on
a
us.
fly that is going
Oh,
to
get
go
it, Josh, while I read this
away.
question. I have a
Use your
small
flip-flop.
front yard, and I want a tree that will be good for birds and only get 25 to 30 feet tall.
Tyler.
Oh, man. Y'all
Just
can't
keep
see
going,
what's
keep
happening
going.
off camera.
Okay.
Tyler just hit some lights. All right, one more time. I have a small front yard, and I want a tree that will be good for birds and only get 25 to 30 feet tall.
So
Okay.
now what trees are not good for birds?
I know,
is
I
my
was thinking that
question.
too. It's like once a tree gets 25, 30 foot tall, like it's got a lot of space for birds, and there's probably going to be birds in it. Okay, a couple natives that we have, dogwoods, redbuds. Okay, if we only sold dogwoods and redbuds, we'd still be killing it. That's what people know.
Oh, yeah.
All the time, people coming out for dogwoods and
Well, they're
redbuds. okay?
natives for one thing, and
Yeah.
that's a big deal. People,
is.
I think, are rightly so increasing their focus on native plants, things that are naturally pest resistant, that are easier to grow. You may not have quite the span of color and other attributes, but they are reliable, and the native flora and fauna are very comfortable with them, and it's known. So they all work really well.
And a redbud in the springtime, there's nothing.
Oh, yeah,
pretty about it.
dogwoods and
Come on.
redbuds in the
Yeah.
springtime. They both bloom without leaves on them. That's the showiest you can get.
Redbud flowers are actually very tasty. If you
Really?
strip
They
them
are.
all,
They're
they-
so
They
good.
have a peanutty taste to them.
Have you not eaten one before?
I've never eaten a redbud flower. No.
Well, next
really
spring, I predict that will change.
Okay, I'll do it. I
gotta
will do
try
it for
'em.
y'all. But if you want a little bit different option, there is some other plants. Styrax is a cool plant. You don't even think about it. No one even knows it. Google it right now. It's a cool plant. It doesn't get all that big. It's a cool plant for that scenario. And then also,
Amelanchiers?
hey, shout out to Adam Chapman, who's on vacation today.
Ooh,
Good for you,
vacay.
sir. 2 weeks. He is not here.
Oh, we're going to miss him.
Yeah, without him here.
And
I've already missed him this morning.
I know. He does a lot here.
He does a lot.
But yeah, he loves his serviceberry, so that would be a cool choice.
that
Definitely
is
for the
good for
birds. and
birds.
Definitely good for the birds. And hey, one more Carolina silver bell. Check it
Alicia
out.
is
Alicia,
really a-
cool plant. It doesn't get all that big, so we sell all of those here. There's options.
There are. How about advice on caring for a Yoshino cherry?
Well,
Plant
okay.
it.
Yeah, I mean, plant it, watch it. It's, Yoshino cherries here, y'all, are typically the first ones to kind of shut down in the fall. They don't necessarily have like really good fall color. They kind of go yellow quick and then they drop quick. It's just one of those plants that's like that. Now, you talk about showy plants, though. Oh my God. Yoshino cherry is about as showy as it gets in the spring. Like, it's fantastic to grow. You've got one. You've planted it.
I planted one on Monday. I planted a bunch of trees on Monday during the
planted-
hottest time of the year.
Yeah, you planted a tree in the summer.
Well,
Great.
that was in a 3-gallon pot that I bought over a year ago. Very root bound. I was
Speaking
having
of
to water
watering
it
on top of the
yes,
ground. Oh,
almost
goodness.
every day. So I was like, it's going to do better in the ground. I planted that, a deodar cedar, and
You think?
a viburnum.
We added one to the proving grounds this spring. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
of
now,
course-
on the downside of cherries, and you touched on one of the aspects, is it's not unusual by early mid-August. It has no leaves left on it at
That's
all.
true.
It will drop everything quickly.
Listen to that, Diana, because so when it drops, it's not dead.
It's
Okay?
not dead. Yeah, no.
Yes, Diana.
The
Yes.
other negative aspect is the fact that they are not on a long life scale, a long living tree. 20, 25 years is probably about as much as you can reasonably expect. They might get more, but there's a lot of things that
I
are a
didn't know
nuisance
that.
pest to them. They don't, they
Yeah,
don't
there's a number of things that can happen to Yoshino cherry, especially if they get wounded. If you're like weed eating around the base and you
don't
create
talk about
wounds.
them. They get
No,
wounded.
man.
They do. I tell you.
so
Aw.
sensitive.
We're just trying to be
sensitive.
careful right
so
now.
sensitive.
They will ooze some sap and then you start to see stuff. Ugh.
Ooh,
But,
sounds spooky.
hey, but still, Yoshino cherry is as showy as it gets. Like,
I'm
a
excited.
beautiful, beautiful plant.
Hey,
whenever
well,
it's happy.
we'll just jump in here quickly. No matter what you're trying to grow, if it is a Yoshino cherry, Josh, or
Yes.
if it is
Squash.
it could be a squash.
Yes.
Now they're kind of no way related to each other, but the point of it is that they're both living, growing plants.
Yes.
And if you're looking for something to grow any of your plants, their very best, look no further than Earth Mix Garden Products. And Earth Mix Garden Products has the whole line has been developed to give you the very best 100% organic, but not just organic, most highly productive and viable soil that you can grow your plants in. The plants don't just, hang in there and not die. They really flourish. You're going to get the best root growth. And when you get excellent root growth, what you get are plants that are much more adept at dealing with the extremes of nature, like we're going through right now, hot, dry conditions. When the root systems are out there and well established quickly, Earth Mix Garden Products is a key element in that combination. So that's really what we try to do, is provide a line of soil products that takes a bit of the work out of the gardening effort, increases your success, and helps you to be able to enjoy the positive aspects of it. So it's widely available throughout Middle Tennessee, Kentucky. Go to the Find Earth Mix tab, and you will see there's all these pins with the plant rotating in the middle of them. And we're also out in Idaho. So in case you're at Victory Gardens and you're in the Boise metro area, great folks to deal with. Make sure you go see them. We're even in North Carolina, garden by Teresa B. Bryant, and we're in few locations in northern Alabama. There's Hannah's Lawn and Landscape, for instance, as well as many locations in Tennessee and Kentucky throughout the state of Tennessee. So check all those out. You can either zoom in to one of those little pins nearest you, or you can put your address in for turn-by-turn directions to get you to the nearest location to get your Earth Mix Garden products. And there's a complete line of products, and not every dealer carries every product, so you might want to reach out to them and say, hey, I'm looking for Earth Mix Garden. Do you have that? They're very likely to have that. That's kind of the flagship brand. And it is, as products go, it has the widest range of applications, and it's ready to use right out of the bag. So check it out. Earth Mix Garden Products. Go out to earthmix.net, and you can find out all about the Earth Mix story, all the various things about Earth Mix on the website, including the soil calculator. If you don't know how much you need, you just click on that. You put in the product that you want and how the dimensions of your size beds, and it'll tell you how many bags you need. You don't have to guess at it. So check that out at earthmix.net. Remember, this success in gardening begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix Garden Products. We appreciate you giving us a moment to talk about that and help take the work out of your gardening efforts and increase your success. That's the way we roll.
That's how you roll.
Yep.
Earth Mix, plants, water, sunshine.
That's
all you need.
That's it. All you need.
That's all you need.
A little bit of love, but
Maybe
not too much.
Maybe another question real quick.
You want a question?
Yeah, let's do a question real quick. I'm not ready. I'm gearing up. I gotta get geared up. Get me geared up.
All right, let's get you geared up. Let's get a question in. Skinny Fiddle. She's tall and a flimsy lady. Help. So that usually happens if your fiddly fig is happy and growing fast. I mean, they will get a little bit flimsy, and the stem sometimes is like this big, like the size of a pencil or a larger pencil. And in order to make that trunk bigger, for one, pruning that fiddly fig is going to help. So I have one that I've cut back every year. I give it like a chop, whether it's just chopping the stem in half or cutting those main branches. I remove all the leaves, and the stem has gotten a lot bigger. Now, I have researched this. I've read on it. I haven't tried it, but with fiddly figs, I always see videos about people simulating wind to make the trunk stronger.
I've seen this.
And there was that TikTok trend years ago where people shaking their plants. I was going to see what you guys thought of it, because I'm not going to try shaking my plant.
Now, the one thing
Well, you dated Skinny Fiddle back in high school. Right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
No matter what
Did you
no matter what kind of plant you're talking about, with the stems are getting flimsy and stretched, it's indicative of what, Austin?
Typically light.
Yes, or the
Low
lack
light.
thereof.
The lack thereof, yeah.
You either have too much temperature, or more specifically, too little light. And I don't see that there's another cure that's a really good cure, except to cut it back. Particularly if you fiddly fig, if you look at where they grow in nature, they grow in the tropics and they grow in full sun. They like sun. That's the biggest problem people have with them. They're a wonderful plant, but a lot of people don't have them growing in enough light. Now, flimsy stems is indicative of the fact that it's not enough light. If you've got a way to cut it back, cut every leaf off of it and then go straight out to the sun with it, it'll push new growth, and that new growth will be tough and hardened against the sunlight. And then you'll be able to, by the fall of the year, get migrated inside. Now, is that way offline with what you'd recommend, Caroline? Or?
No, that's what I said. Cut it back. Give it as much sun as you can. If you think about it, those big fiddly figs that we sell here that are huge, those are like large cuttings that these growers have taken, and that's why the stems are so big. So when you buy a small one that you have for a long time and you grow it up yourself, it's going to take a really, really long time for that trunk to get huge. Especially like David mentioned, in your house, you probably can't give it enough sunlight for it to really grow, but just give it time. It takes time for everybody to grow and get bigger.
And where they are grown in South Florida or wherever, they're grown in full sun for a substantial portion of time, and then they will finish them or make them acclimatize them to a bit lower light conditions under maybe 30% shade. It won't really be more than that. That means they'll and they can adjust to that very easily. But when you move inside the house, it goes from being 30% reduction in light to probably almost 80 to 90%
easily.
So got to have sun. They are not a shade plant.
They grow those in Dade County.
No, they're not.
They?
No ficus is a shade plant.
Nope.
They grow them in Dade County, don't they? Down there at the down in Homestead. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's a trendy house plant. People love it, but they also love stuff that's all around town.
And I've got if I want to see Austin in action, his 100,000 plus view video on replanting.
How many is it now? I know you look at it every day.
Probably about 105.
105.
Quit making fun of me. All right?
You got to check it and see.
I do.
But let's check and see what you
if
know.
If Austin needs to boost his self-worth a little bit, he just goes in and look at the account. They go, hey.
We're all good here today.
Yeah.
All right.
Fiddly.
But I want to know something.
What do you want to know, Josh?
What's in bloom?
Here it is.
With Austin.
A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff in bloom, people. I wrote this list last night. Let's start with the perennials. Why not? It's been a daylily year. I don't know what's up with daylilies, but they are still blooming. I've never seen them bloom this long. It's awesome. Love some daylilies. There's a lot of cool varieties out there. Alliums, my ornamental onions, still going strong. Looking great. Upright phlox, I noticed. My daughter picked a flower for me the other day. It was an upright phlox growing in the woods. Don't know how I got there, but it's there. Looking good. Echinacea, black-eyed Susan. Both of those, always. Russian sage, I noticed. Y'all, that's like a shrubby perennial, soft blue. It's very Mediterranean. That's what I give it.
Those jazz hands are back, y'all.
Yes.
So what's all the
Russian sage.
hurry about Russian sage?
I don't know why they're rushing. It hasn't rushed yet. Until now, and now it's finally rushing into bloom. It's great. You know what? It's great. Soft foliage. I like that. They smell good. I like the way they smell. Yeah. Okay. Roses perpetually still going, y'all. Everyone's still got some roses out there. Y'all know what? Something weird. I got a big Chinese snowball bush.
Ooh.
It's big blobby bush of green.
Blobby.
Yeah.
That's a technical term.
That is. One of them blobby bushes.
There's one big bloom.
Really?
Right in the middle of it. Why?
Is
you
that a
have a picture?
viburnum?
Yes, it's a viburnum. Tyler?
What's that doing?
What's it doing? I don't know. That does weird stuff. It also reblooms in the fall sometimes. I love that plant. Chinese viburnum.
It's a good one.
It's a beautiful white bloomer. Y'all know I love that white. Okay.
do.
Speaking of white, hydrangea, the panicles, limelight, little lime, bobo, all those ones that you think of, they're just showing off and just really showing it. Even limelight right now is like only half show. It's still got a long time to go, y'all. If you're not growing panicles, you're doing something wrong. Okay. Hibiscus, the perennial stuff. Big as your face blooms. Mine are red, looking great.
Are the Japanese beetles getting them yet?
No, they're no. Okay. They don't come to my house. I've kicked them
Not
out.
this year.
You said no.
That's right. And shout out Reese. I hope your butterfly bush is blooming. It should be. I bought it for you last year. It should just always bloom because I bought it. Okay, moving on. Vitex. Hey, Vitex, y'all. Yours is blooming. I know you told me yesterday.
Bloom.
Rosa Sharon, a different type of hibiscus, y'all, just still showing off this year, looking just great. Crepe myrtles all around town, looking great. Mine's finally blooming. It took like a while for mine to bloom, but it's doing it. It's doing its thing. Golden rain tree, once again, yellow trees, love them. Yep. Y'all, yellow trees. Magnolia still spitting some, just barely though. They're almost done. Hey, Tyler, we're talking about vines. That means you got to do something. Hurry up. Trumpet creeper. While we're
Wow.
talking about it, it's orange. Y'all know me. I don't really like orange all that much. But Tyler, if you can get it up there, I want to do a little something. Hey, there it is. Y'all can't see it yet. Tyler, get it up. Come on, man. All right. Hey, look. Hey, Caroline, look. Hey, look. There's clematis.
Clematis.
What's it doing?
Why did
it's
you-
blooming again.
It is blooming again, but you
Again.
zoomed in on it,
What do you
so
mean
we
I
can't see
zoomed
the
in
whole
on it?
plant.
You don't need to see the whole plant. The
'Cause
whole
there's
plant's
probably yellow
fantastic.
leaves.
There's no yellow leaves and there's no insect damage. There's no pest pressure. None of it. All of it. It's all great. It's clematis and it's blooming. So you're welcome. Thanks, Tyler. Grasses. Shout out Bridge. Love you again.
Yep.
All the grasses going great. Okay, let's give a shout out to our natives, okay? How about the passion flower? How about our state wildflower, y'all? The coolest bloom on the planet.
Speaking of passion,
Oh, buddy, I'm giving it.
Right here,
Austin's
right
middle
here.
name.
The old maypop. My daughter brought me some maypop last night, and I was like, this is a passion flower.
How about this native?
Oh, yuck. Tyler. Why did you fade into it?
Fade into
'Cause I
it again.
snuck it up on you.
Fade
I
into
talked
it
about
again.
that one.
I said last
Get it
week I
outta
was
here.
going to bring mine, and
Man.
that's what
That
my
is
Rudbeckia
gorgeous.
Black-Eyed
That-
Susan looks like. There's another photo.
Goodness, that's a stand.
Yeah, I told you it's amazing.
Oh, is it?
That's at your house?
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Till you,
that's my garden, or one of the 25 garden beds I have.
till you got to weed all that.
I don't
Yucky.
weed it because it's so thick. Oh, you missed us talking about this last week.
that's right.
Oh,
He
yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
here.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, you
I
missed
didn't need
out.
it. Okay.
All right, continue.
More natives. The ironweed. I saw my very first ironweed. Beautiful purple, like true purple on a tall old weed. Ironweed, y'all, looking good.
Happening.
Butterfly weed, the milkweed. Caroline brought some into the studio today
Yep.
for our monarch butterflies. Those are still blooming. They like never stop blooming. It seems like. I don't know what's up with that. And then I thought about it last night. The clover in my lawn. Why does clover always just bloom? Is it because we cut it and then it comes back and then it blooms again? Like white clover never stops blooming.
You're just sitting on your porch thinking about that.
I was.
Stop blooming.
Okay. Hey, moonflower, datura.
Mine's blooming.
It's
Yep.
blooming, yeah.
Fun
If you,
poisonous flower.
It's poisonous, yeah. If you do it right, you might go on a fun ride. If you do
Don't.
it wrong, you dead.
Oh, no.
Nope.
Don't do that.
Just don't do it.
Don't.
Also, if you plant it, it's going to spread everywhere by seed. They have these little seed pods that attach themselves to critters or you and go everywhere.
It's no joke. No joke. And then some of the bad ones, let's talk about it. Morning Glory, y'all. Morning Glory. Some of y'all like it. It's okay. I got one
No.
climbing up my Japanese maple. It's made it to the top.
Ouch.
And it was blooming this morning. And I'm like, yuck. I got to cut you out. And then the tree of heaven. Y'all know about the tree of heaven?
Yeah.
It ain't no joke. It looks a lot like sumac. It's blooming right now. And that is a non-native invasive.
Yeah, not so heavenly.
No, I don't know why they call
Yeah.
it tree of heaven. I had no clue because it's not heavenly at all. It's awful, really bad, but it is blooming. And then last on my list that I noticed yesterday, chrysanthemums. Mums,
Oh.
mum's the word. Mums are blooming.
Mums are
Mum,
blooming.
mummy.
Mine's not quite blooming yet.
Well,
but-
it's about to. Okay? I saw one yesterday. It was yellow. It was blooming. And you know what?
Ooh.
That's what's in bloom.
That's
All
it.
right.
I've got another
Boy,
one of Caroline's
a
blooms to
highly
sneak in here.
spirited
Let's see if you know what this
rendition.
is.
It's like he
Probably
missed
not.
work last week or
Bam.
something,
What's
you
that?
know?
I can't even see it.
It's a close-up.
The light is in
There's
my
another
face.
photo of all of them.
Oh, is that a yellow leaf on a clematis?
Nope.
What is it, Caroline?
It's my jewelweed.
Jewelweed.
It's in full bloom right now. It's a beautiful native. Hummingbirds love it. They grow
wow.
by creek sides. Oh, it's
Understory
amazing.
plant?
There's understory plant. There's one more photo of it, of like my little grove of it. I was very excited when I found this on my property. Bridget, another shout out to Bridget, was also very excited when I told her I had it growing. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
And right in front of a sandbar willow. Wow. And then there is one more photo that I sent of my flowers. I made a couple bouquets over the weekend. There they are. So that's just some of what I have in bloom at my house. We have an orange kind of sunset bouquet and then a Barbie pink bouquet.
So what you're telling me is that you did not go out and buy those flowers. You simply
not.
cut them and arranged them.
I did. And I bought most of them here at Bates Nursery and Garden
What
Center.
a wonderful aspect of gardening is to be able to grow your own color and beautification both outside in the house and inside. So those are I can tell that Melissa from the days gone by would be very proud of you.
Miss you, Melissa.
Yes. So
Shout out
Oh,
to
those are
Melissa.
beautiful. Which one do y'all think I like the best?
Purple.
The pink one, Josh, for sure. Yes, pink and
Duh.
purple.
All
Gosh.
day long.
Purple.
Oh, look at that. I love grass. Hey.
Oh, and there's my
love-
nursery cat that I got here at Bates. That's Trixie posing by
Sometimes
the
you get more than plants here.
Trixie's
Yeah.
good. Snap
Yeah.
it already.
Trixie's
Snap it.
very excited.
I bet she's playing with those grasses. I love love
Oh,
grasses
he eats
in
the
containers.
grasses. Yeah,
Yes.
I made that for my mom and had to get it out of the
Snap
house
that damn
immediately
picture.
because he was about to just destroy it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Shout out to my cats.
I
They're
cannot hold
great.
this smile forever.
All right, let's get back to some questions. We're going to move into our hydrangea portion. And last week we did miss Austin. We had quite a few hydrangea questions. This week we have even
Do we need to
more.
do a segment? We missed Austin last week.
We missed Austin.
Well,
But Ben was here, and we were really
And
happy
Ben
to have
did a
him. Thank you,
fantastic
Ben.
job standing in. All right, I just planted hydrangeas. I have one branch that crinkled up and slowly died. Is this normal?
no. Not typically normal, no. What I'm assuming happened, since it's just one limb, is you probably suffered a break somewhere, like down close to the base.
Yeah.
And even if it's just a little break, y'all, this time of year with hydrangea, with the water, you got to do. Y'all know, if you're planting hydrangea this time of year, you're watering like crazy.
You know, the one thing about hydrangeas is their vascular system really cannot. It's one of those genetic things that, for whatever reason, particularly in macrophylla, where you got these big-leaved hydrangeas, they cannot keep up when it's really hot weather. They wilt even when they're not dry in the ground. You know, so that's because they transpire the water out of the foliage faster than the vascular system can pump it up. So it takes almost no damage at all. You just crack it.
Yeah.
And
Look at it hard.
well, it's possible.
Almost.
So
Yeah, like whenever we plant stuff, especially hydrangeas, like David said, like their stems can break somewhat easily, even if it's just a tiny little break.
you're brushing by it in the garden.
They can break. Yeah, it happens to us all the time, y'all. We're unloading plants like crazy, and every once in a while, you know,
You hear a snap.
You hear a snap. You're like, oh man, what we say? No checky. No check this week when you break a stem.
No check for you.
So that's what I'm assuming happened. If it is wilting and it's already just perished, I mean, it's done.
remove
Just remove it, yeah, and then play with the rest of the sticks you got, and keep it wet. Y'all, hydrangea season, keep it wet. You can't overdo it.
All right, a lot of questions about droopy hydrangeas.
Of
the
course.
first up, my hydrangeas are brown and droopy. How can I help them through this heat?
It's water, y'all. It's water, and it's water where you need it. That's the key. Watering, like David said earlier, water, just because you water doesn't mean you did it right, okay? I had a guest yesterday that had the same thing. I crinkled up, just totally brown, crispy hydrangea, and he was like, man, I've been watering, and I'm like, that's fine. You've been watering, but you're not getting water to the root zone.
You're watering
where
the
it
top.
needs it. Yeah.
People kill more plants at this time of year saying, I watered it every day, and yet it clearly is dry. So there's conflicting information there, and perception is just wrong. Watering this time of year in particular needs to be approached from a meditative opportunity. If you're going to be out there with a garden hose and you're going to apply it directly to the plant, use it as an opportunity to just kind of zone out and move from one plant, soak it till the water just starts to run off, and go to the next, then continue that process, and then go back and do it all again, and then go back and do it all again. And that's what it takes. So don't look at it as, if you are in a hurry, you cannot water. It is not possible. Put a sprinkler on there and a timer and walk away from it if you're in a hurry. But if you can do it by hand, you got to take time. Chill out. Mm-hmm. Use that opportunity.
Go smooth.
Yeah. I've been watering those 3 big things that I planted on Monday, just like that. It's a time to meditate while you water. All right, my lime Ricky hydrangea is growing tipped over. Help. It's been 2 years growing in ground.
Okay, lime Ricky is an arborescence type of hydrangea, so similar to like an Annabelle or an Incredible. And with all of the smooth hydrangeas, yes, they all.
Yeah, Tyler.
Yeah.
A lot of times will flop, okay? And that sounds what's happening to you. Now, Proven Winners came out with that plant, and they claim that is one that does not flop all that bad. So what you probably need to do is what David does, and probably give it just a clear, now this is not now, but clear cut over the winter time. Yeah, mid-February, just cut it to the dirt, y'all. Let's play for new stems. Let's get those stems chunky, and hopefully next season it's not going to flop.
It's such a different, man. I've got Annabelles in my side yard that are, now they're in the persistent stage of the flower now. They've already gone through their primary bloom, but they still look wonderful. They're standing up and not flopped at all. And so long as we're willing, last year I had some issues because we didn't cut them quite hard enough. And so if you'll go back, like Austin said, almost to the ground.
Yeah.
Force all new stems to come out particularly if they're in the right light conditions, and they are sun lovers. You'll have nice, strong stems that are going to stand up good. And because you have increased the bloom count by multiple stems, you've reduced the size of those blooms so that they are much less likely to get loaded down with water and break down to the ground. That's what happens if you just have a few stems and these really big blooms. There is a penalty you pay for those really big flowers.
True.
Yep. They get heavy. And our final hydrangea question of the morning. My Bobo hydrangeas haven't bloomed this year yet. They were planted last year and bloomed then. What are your thoughts?
It's kind of weird. Very weird, actually. The Bobo should be blooming now, at least budded. I don't know if you're seeing any buds in there. Like, get in there and look. Make sure, and if it's in deep shade, they may not bloom. That is a full sun hydrangea, y'all. Like, the fullest of full sun hydrangeas. So if you're not... if it's
and any amount of shade you get will push that flowering time later and later. So it may be that they don't flower until August, which
would be
like
cool.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but you got to give plants the conditions that they need to be optimal in order to get the results you expect them to give. So it sounds like likely too many hours of shade. It probably gets some direct sun, but maybe it's only 4 or 5 hours. And they would love to have 9.
Yep.
Yeah. But, where can you find a Bobo hydrangea?
I know where you can find
Where?
A place that has half new pavement. And that's called Bates Nursery and Garden Center, where this little photograph on the website and what you see here, pretty much all that area is barren right now. There we go. And even in the perennial area, this is all, there's nothing in there but pavement currently. We're going to be working on it this week, and all that is all just pavement. And we are in the process of getting ready. Actually, today, the company that performs the striping service,
Striper,
to put the lines on the pavement so that we can have these clearly defined bed and aisle areas. Wow. We're going to get that done today, and I'm pretty excited about that. And then we'll move the plants from where they are to where they'll be until we get the current side that's not been repaved paved. So we got a couple of weeks that we're hopefully getting that done in, and then by the end of July, hopefully get this pavement done, and
the plants flow in.
And then the plants flow in. So it's been quite an undertaking. It has taken the efforts of everyone. If you haven't worked, if people employed here have not worked directly in it, certainly indirectly because of having to steer our guests around this maze of...
because just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not here.
Oh, yeah.
That's the biggest thing you're going to ask.
I heard Shannon and Austin talking yesterday about watering things that are off the lot. There's some things that are normally in an overhead irrigation situation that we're having to hand water because... it's just the way it is. It's we don't have them in the spot where we'd like to have them in. So... come on out and see us. We got all the stuff. It's just not where you would expect to find it normally.
Kind of fun that way.
It is. It's like
And the other
scavenger
part,
hunt.
The other part that's even more fun is that you can get any plant that we're selling right now. And that a plant is any growing thing. It's a tree, shrub, ground cover, ornamental grass, tropical. 20% off.
Fifth off?
20% off. Wow. So 1/5. If you bought 5 of them, it's like getting one of those 5 free, Josh. I'll explain the math to you.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that's, you deal a lot with numbers, but I know you know those things.
Decimals. Decimals.
We're not going to get into the Dewey Decimal part of it.
Japanese maples too, David?
Japanese maples as well.
And
yes.
houseplants.
Yes.
Houseplants are included.
It's growing.
So, these are things that we don't always offer in special things, but right now we're going to do that because we think it's a good opportunity. And you may be thinking, well, gosh, isn't it too hot to be planting?
No.
Well, we're growing them on pavement, folks. So that means it's possible.
Yes.
You do. You need to think about your process and your when you're digging your hole. You might want to get up at 5:30 in the morning and get that hole dug.
Water the hole.
Right. And if you're going to do that, we suggest you incorporate Earth Mix garden products.
Yes.
Earth Mix Landscape is one of our very best products that we offer here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center, and it is a wonderful amendment. It's also actually quite a good container mix.
Yes.
So no matter what your horticultural needs are, be it tree, shrub, ground cover, all plants, this is on plants only, 20% off through the end of business on Thursday this coming week.
Cool.
So come out and see us. We're open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Saturday. We are closed on Sundays until fall season. So, we all need a break from the heat and a day away. So we appreciate you understanding that thing. And we also appreciate you coming out and seeing what we're doing and to improve the facilities and help Bates Nursery continue to be a Nashville tradition since 1932. I believe that we may be, and I don't know for this for sure, that we may be the oldest surviving multi-generation family-owned business in Nashville, Tennessee. So,
Wow.
and I would be interested to know who has been around longer than us. We're only 8 years away from our centennial. So and that lady that you see on the website is my grandmother, and I believe it's pretty certain that she would hardly recognize what we have done today. So thank you to, as we refer to her as Nanny. She was quite a lady, and she never met a stranger in her entire life. So we try to continue that process on, and appreciate you coming out to see us. And let us be your gardening connection. We have the expertise, we have the plants, we have all the things you need to have success. That's because we're Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932. Come see us.
Yep. And hey, I think David might have just answered your question on YouTube, Linda. What's the best earth mix products to plant a Kwanzaa cherry? I would say landscape.
Landscape,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yep.
And one of the good things about, and I did not mention this about the website, I'll quickly just one additional point, if I could get my pointer to point where I want it to point, so I can not point somewhere else, is that if you want to find out if natives are your thing, and a lot of people are, just go to the search box. That's that little little spyglass right there, and just type the word native.
Native.
Nativen, and hit enter. And then what you'll get is we've got, what does that say? 20 pages of natives.
Yep.
And it's voluminous. So,
Voluminous.
and as of, and Mary, shout out to her and Rachel both in our office. They do the website maintenance and work on it. We now officially, you will not find a single item on our website that does not have an accurate Bates Nursery photographic image to accompany. There's no.
That's cool.
Finally gone are the days of where we had
image coming soon. I remember
soon.
that.
We have. It's taken us 2 years, and that's all they really work at. Is more than 7,000 items on the website. So check it out. It gives you not just photographic images, but you also get, like this Asclepias here, the milkweed, information about the plant, and of course you can purchase it online.
That's a great tie-in to the Asclepias. We have
What's in Room with Caroline.
Oh, so many good things. We got a truck in yesterday, y'all, full of gorgeous perennials, which I will talk about after I go over what's behind us here. So I'm quickly going to do this because we still have a ton of questions. So we brought juniper in the corner. Austin picked that. He said, Caroline, look at this. We got to bring
But
these
they're not in bloom. But that's okay.
They're not in bloom, and it's fine.
They're in the room.
They're not. Yes, they're in the room, not in bloom. Then we got crepe myrtle underneath because, y'all, they look so good. Austin was just saying yesterday, how are these not sold yet?
I know.
How
They're
are they
very
not
clean.
sold? They're so
Who is
clean.
Howard?
They're so beautiful.
Who is Howard, by the way?
Howard.
Howard, these not sold.
No, I was like, I don't get it. So y'all come out and buy it. Like we talked about earlier, they are 20% off. And then in front of the tables, we've got Weigela down here on the floor. We've got two different types. Austin doesn't really like this plant, but he called me over one day to look at this one with the variegated leaf.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow, look at that. And then in contrast to that, we've got a dark purple leaf down in front. It's a little bit hard to see. It's pretty low on the floor. And then if you're wondering what those bright purple blooms are right there, that's verbena, y'all. Look at it.
Oh, boy.
So we got that in, what'd you say?
Perennial.
Perennial, yes,
Yes.
perennial verbena. So that's one of the things that we got in from a truck yesterday from Riverbend, and everything looked fantastic. Riverdale. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the correction. And then behind it, we've already talked about it. We got that in as well. We've got butterfly weed, and then one of my favorite, lamb's ear.
Nah. Yeah. Great.
Decus.
Hey,
I know you love it.
Hey, Caroline,
I love it.
How does your
Mine-
lamb's ear look right now?
It's looking okay.
Okay. Like bad, okay?
It's growing. It has new leaves coming out, and it looks okay.
Be honest with
All right, I
viewers.
let it slip when we were picking out plants yesterday that my lamb's ear did not look fantastic right
Yes.
now. And then he was like, I'm bringing that up on the show tomorrow.
Yes. That's why we brought it in the studio. Woo.
It
lamb's
still
ear.
looks good. I still don't regret planting it. It is covered a space. It's been in ground since
Don't
I bought
live
my
with
house in
regrets in
2017.
life.
What's
I will
on the hot
never
plate,
No.
Caroline?
live it with regret. On our hot plate today, we've got crocosmia, lucifer.
Lucifer.
Yes, look at these red blooms. I don't know
Sounds
if we
devilish.
can get up. It is so devilish. Wow, look
If
at
that's
her
not-
spin.
If that's not a hummingbird magnet,
I am
know.
telling
I don't
you,
know
they're-
what is.
You can hear them hitting the wall trying to get into it.
I saw a few yesterday out here.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're all over the nursery. I don't have this particular one. I can't remember the name of the one I have. It's more of an orange bloom.
Yeah.
But I love this plant, y'all. It will spread. I mean, it like clumps, kind of spreads out. It's really, really thick. So also another plant that will compete with your weeds. So if you're looking for something to just take up a little bit of space, I mean, go for this. Mine is in full bloom right now. This is the time of year that it's blooming.
Cool.
And I love it. It's
And
a
the good thing
cut
about
flower,
it is
too.
it jumps up with enough height to kind of get above a lot of vegetative growth
Mm-hmm.
underneath. So it's it's very easy to and it's one of those plants that in mass just is a really statement of plant.
This one's
Yeah.
even trying to throw
Even
a little
if you
baby
don't
out
like
here
orange,
already.
right, Austin?
Do what?
Even if you don't like orange, just kind of a red orange.
That's
Yeah.
a red orange. Yeah, I'm not mad at
I can't
that.
believe you don't like orange flowers.
I-
Who are you?
Hey,
What
where'd
do you
you
mean,
go?
who am I?
Where'd you
Billy,
go?
you
You
Where'd you go
told
to
me your
co-
favorite color was orange.
Did you go to MTSU?
I did.
You're a Blue Raider, then that's the deal.
Oh, that's what it is.
I do like blues.
You know what's
I do like
cool
blues.
about these crepe myrtles behind us? The dark foliage on them, folks.
Yes.
You can't really appreciate
black.
it. It is gorgeous, and you see these, and you mix a white one in there with that pinky red.
Pretty,
kind of a
pretty
feel.
stunning.
Gorgeous, absolutely.
I've got a black one. I don't know what color the blooms are. Mine hasn't bloomed yet. Oh, there we go. But I'm really all about the goth leaves. I don't really care about the blooms. But y'all, we got a lot of live questions
Boy,
in,
do
so
we
let's
have 'em.
get to it.
Okay.
What I need is to get rid of moles. They are destroying plants and flowers. What is your best tip?
Moles are so annoying.
They
That's
are.
the first thing. I mean, we do sell like bait, like there is poison to kill moles.
And it does work.
It does work.
Does.
But you're going to kill your moles. I mean, that's what, I don't know if you want to kill them or not, but that's what it does. So just know that.
You don't think they're not screaming bloody murder
Yeah.
when they eat that poison.
Yeah. So, I mean, and we sell repellents. They're underground, though. So the repellents are really hard to get to moles. Like, the
Right.
moles are just a really hard thing. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to use, some
You're
sort
right.
of-
Hey, Miriam says borrow a Jack Russell Terrier for a week.
There you go.
Or a
Thanks, Miriam.
skipper key.
Now
I am
your
telling
yard-
you, a skipper key dog
It
is
will-
the cure.
Your yard will look like landmines.
Yeah.
Get rid of the moles, though.
And your dog will have dirt up to here because they will bury
All
down
the way in. But they'll
Yeah.
get it. And then Risha says the butterfly bush Austin bought us this year has been beautiful.
Reach.
Yes.
Great.
And then another
costed me
just comment.
$28.
And it was totally worth it,
It
for
was
all
worth
the
it.
things we've gotten to talk about out of it. And then another viewer says, David, there are nurseries closer to me, but I prefer to drive to Bates because your lot, even before paving, is better than others.
Yep.
Aw.
Hey, listen to this lineup of watching, but they're not participating. Mike Allison's watching.
What? Hello,
Darren
Mike.
Morrissey is watching.
Hello,
and
Darren.
Michael Stevenson.
I got to watch.
Wow.
Speaking of watching, I got to watch Mike Allison eat ice cream last night.
Did you really?
Yeah, that's what I do. I go to people to ice cream parlors and watch them eat ice cream. So
Hey, by the way,
What a fun pastime.
Oh, it is.
By the way, if the live critter cam that he has, it's amazing. Okay, he lives in a zoo.
the zoo comes to him.
Yes.
Zoo comes to him. Hey, what about this? We have 2 variegated English hollies a year ago. I guess they planted them. One is full and healthy. The other shrub leaves are more sparse than it was a few months ago. Would nitrogen help?
Well, I mean, yeah, nitrogen is the most, the element that's used most by plants, so it's not going to like hurt to put nitrogen on it. That'll throw leaves. That's nitrogen promotes green growth. So yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt. I mean, maybe like mid-February time, let's give them both like the same shear, even though they look different, I know, but if we give them the same shear and like cut them the same way, you'll probably get a similar flush like next spring. So that would be my tip for you when it comes to that, to get them back full.
Yeah, there's really no other way to do it.
No, I don't think so.
You have to kind of do sacrificial trimming on one in order to have a chance of them getting close to being the same later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And then Andrea did ask about trimming bushes in the spring that are growing like crazy. Andrea, if you could tell us what those are so we can tell you how to properly do them and what time of year. We did get a nice comment. Okay, I should be in the garden before it heats up, but here I am in my favorite coffee spot watching you guys. Y'all are my favorite.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. And we got a clematis question, so Austin, get ready.
I'm so ready.
Are you?
It's clematis.
Are you ready?
Clematis.
Do the round, hairy-looking things on clematis need to be cut off? I assume they are seed heads.
Yes, they will be seed heads, and I think they're cool. I leave mine on, and there's
They
like
look
a
like little
million of them.
aliens.
They do look like aliens. Like they're just odd. And what was described in the question is like kind of what you think. What did they say? Like round,
Hairy
Round.
things. Yeah, like that's what they look like. Mine has a million on it right now because it blooms so much. Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
And then they rebloom.
How do your leaves look?
The leaves look great.
Well, you didn't get a
But
picture
anyway.
of the whole plant, so...
Okay, next week you're
can't
getting it,
believe
and it looks fine.
that.
Okay, so yes, you can cut those off if you don't like them, but there's no reason to cut them off. It's not like it's needed for the plant. So, like I said, I like to look at them. I think they're kind of cool, but that's just me.
Huh.
If you want to cut them off, cut them. If you don't, don't.
Just a lot of extra things to be
It's a
doing.
lot. Yeah.
It is no. Now, what it will do, if you cut them all off, it would redirect energy that's going towards seed production into the plant itself. So you might get more blooms out of it. You're certainly going to get more vegetative growth. That's not in question. But
Yeah. No, I think you're right, actually. That's a good point. It probably would throw more blooms again. Like mine's reblooming, y'all, but it's not like great. There's like 2 or 3 blooms on it, okay? But still, it's
so
reblooming.
now you're being honest about it.
It's reblooming. I've been honest. I haven't lied to anyone.
I
showed
did
a
plant
picture.
one a couple weeks ago.
okay, Austin,
I'm excited about
you've
it.
made your point.
Somebody said the C word and got them all fired
And
up.
got him all fired up. Hey, Jane Ann Gibbs says, Centennial, that means 100. What sales will there be during that anniversary?
That's a little.
100% off, obviously.
They already had 100% off event
I'm
this
not
week.
sure that will occur.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Oh.
Got to get there first.
We're going to
Yeah.
strategize
Get
in the
a
marketing
dollar
department.
off. 100 pennies off.
100 pennies. That's going to be the
Aw,
sale.
cute.
You've got some time to think about it.
By the
Limit
time we
one per
get to,
customer.
by the
Yeah.
time we get to there, 100 pennies won't be worth, the copper. I mean, they're already not worth the copper. The copper's worth way more than the
We'll have
copper.
to figure
More like
something
paint
out.
on them anyway.
Hey, and then Joyce Hook says, Turtle head just starting to bloom. Will be good into September. And you know what? I wrote that on Austin's sheet, and then he looked at me with disgust.
No, I didn't. You wrote it
have
on the
no
other
idea
sheet.
what
Drama.
Okay,
And
I
then
didn't
I
write it
forgot
on
about
his
it.
sheet. I wrote it on my sheet.
I'm sorry.
What is
I
turtle
forgot
head?
about it.
It's a cool little shade flower. It's got this little pink bloom that comes up that it doesn't really open. It just like peeks up like a little turtle head. I've got some. Mine's not in full bloom yet, but mine, just like Joyce, is starting to go.
Yeah, it's a shade-loving perennial.
What are
It's a
the
good
leaves
little
like?
plant.
It not that exciting. It
Green?
looks green. They're
Cool.
green.
Yeah.
They look kind of
You know,
like
does it have a look about
mountain
it?
mint in a way, like
Okay.
upright mountain mint. I really like mine. It's a flowering shade perennial. You can't really go wrong with it. It's pretty easy.
Hey guys,
to
we
grow.
got 2 minutes to go. We need
Dos
to.
minuetos. I
What?
got
2
1
minutes?
minute.
All right.
Try 1
Boxwoods
minute.
1
have
minute,
patches after last winter. Will they ever recover?
No, I mean,
close to home, right here.
it is close to home, and you got to cut those out.
Come down off that mountain now.
Yeah.
Bringing them on you.
I know you're going to make some holes if you cut your boxwoods, but those little patches of brown and like almost whitish looking, yellowish kind of, like, they're not getting better, y'all. You got to cut them, like, cut it out. You're going to have a hole this season, and then next spring, if you get a nice flush, it should flush past those holes. So that's all you can do. That's all you can do.
And that's a really great opportunity to shear them pretty hard and tight. Let them flush on out. Then they'll pretty much overcome it.
Now, Darren wants to know, he has a pine tree. The bottom third branches are dead. The top is 2/3 green on it. A ton of shade at the bottom. 1/3 is the reason. Is it dead branches?
Take them off.
The shade?
Take them off.
Take them off, Darren.
Cut those off.
Yep.
You don't need them. 2/3 look great. Live with
The
that
tree
one.
is telling you it doesn't want them.
Nope, doesn't need them.
Oh, he sent David a video to his phone, so he knows people around here. All right, folks. Hey, the music means that this edition of Gardening Inside Out has come to a close, but next Saturday we're going to come back.
Absolutely.
There's going to be striped pavement here at Babe Nursery
We're going
and
to
Garden
have plants
Center.
that have moved,
Yes,
stripes
we are.
on, new pavement. It's all good. We can keep it rolling here.
If it's growing, 20% off. 20% off. Come on
That's
now,
true.
folks.
Through the
It's an
18th.
amazing sale. Everything's included
All
if it's
right.
alive. Hey, for everybody here at Gardening Inside Out, thank you for participating and share it. Let everybody know about us. We'll see you next Saturday morning right here from the Green Room Studio.
The fade.